Welcome to my channel. This is Dawn with Pink Chair Gaming, and this is my Rags to Riches island of Rock Creek. In my last video, we were able to upgrade resident services from a tent to a building. Today, we're going to focus on getting our campsite up and running and find out who our first campsite villager is going to be. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, the first thing on our agenda is to visit Tom Nook and get the campsite DIY. Next, I needed to try and figure out where I want to put my campsite. For some reason, this is really hard for me to figure out. While taking a look at the map, I wish I hadn't put Rex's house where I did, which is right in front of that little pond above resident services. That would have been the perfect place to put the campsite. But I'm not willing to take an extra day of moving his house, so let me check a couple of other places and see where I want to put it. My first idea was to put it on this little straight piece here where the waterfall is and the rivers meet. However, it's directly behind the museum and Nook's Cranny, and that just didn't seem like a good place for it. So we're going to try and find another place. Plan B was to try and squeeze it between these cliffs. However, I couldn't get it centered and that was just going to bug me, so we're off to find Plan C. I finally decided to put my campsite up on one of the top cliffs, kind of out of the way. I'm going to set up a ladder kit to access it, as I really don't think an actual incline is necessary, since I'm really the only one that's going to come up here. So now that the campsite is complete, we just have to wait a couple of days for someone to show up. In collecting my bottle on the beach, I was really excited to get the garden wagon DIY. This is a coveted item that I think I can make some good money on early in the game. This is something people will definitely come to your market for to try and get the item. So now all I have to do is make sure I have all the flowers necessary to make it. We are fast forwarding to the next day, and Tom Nook has asked me to come to the airport to meet Lottie. So the rules for HHP in Rags to Riches says that you can complete HHP in order to have the ability to upgrade villager houses, but you're not allowed to purchase any items to use on your island. So I don't know that I'm going to do anything with it this time. It might be worth it to get the DIYs, and the moss and the vines, but definitely a bummer that you can't use items purchased from HHP. And I can completely understand why. Because it made getting items way too easy in hard mode and people took advantage of it, so they are not allowing it in Rags to Riches. Alright, here we are. We've gone ahead one more day and it is time to find out who our campsite villager is. And this always causes me so much anxiety because I never know who it's going to be and I'm always afraid it's going to be somebody bad. So here we go, let's just get it over with. And I had reason to have anxiety, as it is Eugene, who in my opinion is the worst campsite villager there is. And I really think the cartridges that come with your game are pre-programmed to only have certain campsite villagers, because I think I've always ended up with either Hippo, Ed, or Eugene, which I can't stand any of them. Alright, so now I need to just gift him items every time I can in hopes that he asks to leave sooner rather than later. So you remember that spot between the cliffs where I couldn't get the campsite centered? Well, that's where I decided to stick Eugene's house. I'm hoping maybe he'll realize he's not really part of the island and ask to leave pretty quick. Yeah, I know, wishful thinking. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. In my next video, I'm going to start purchasing more plots of land and start working my way to getting 3 stars. So please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye!